He didn't pull you in with a big promise. He pulled you in with one moment that felt safe. It was something small, almost quiet. The way he looked at you when you were talking, like he wasn't half somewhere else. The way his phone stayed face down. The way he didn't rush you. And for a second, something in you went, "Oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like." Maybe it was that night you were leaving, and he walked you out like he didn't want the door to close yet. Or the way he texted when you got home. Not a lazy, wide. Something warm. Something that sounded like a man who actually meant it. And you remember the exact second it happened. You didn't even choose it. You just softened. Because it wasn't the words. It was the relief. It was the feeling that you weren't making it up. That you weren't the only one trying. That he saw you. And the next day, you're still holding that moment in your hands like it's proof. So when the tone starts to change, you don't panic right away. You give him room. You tell yourself he's busy. You tell yourself he's not a bad guy. He's just a little off right now. But you feel it. His replies get shorter. The space between them gets longer. The plan you thought was solid turns into, "I'll let you know." And you read that line 3 times, trying to make it sound normal in your head. You're not waiting because you love waiting. You're waiting because you already felt what it could be for one brief second. So you start doing that thing where you pretend you're fine, but your eyes keep sliding back to your phone. You're answering friends, you're getting through your day, but there's this quiet tension under everything, like you're bracing for the next message to either save the mood or ruin it. And the worst part is, he hasn't even disappeared completely. He's still there enough to keep that moment alive. A random, "Hey, you," late at night. A little spark. Just enough to make you think, maybe the real him is coming back. And that's the moment that pulled you in. Not the man, the switch, the warmth, the version of him that showed up just long enough to make you believe this could finally be different. And once you've felt that version of him, you don't just forget it. You start building a whole story around it without meaning to. You tell yourself, maybe he just moved slow. Maybe he got scared because it felt real. Maybe he's had a rough past and he's not used to someone steady. And you say it so calmly in your head that it almost sounds like truth. Because that one night didn't feel fake. It felt like a man letting you in. So you start filling in the blanks for him. When he takes hours to reply, you don't let your mind go to the obvious place. You go to the kind place. You picture him in traffic. You picture him slammed at work. You picture him looking at your message and smiling, just not answering yet. And the story gets stronger when he comes back. Because he always comes back with the exact right tone. Not too much. Not enough to feel safe. Just enough to make you breathe again. He'll say something like, "I've been thinking about you." And your whole chest loosens, even though you promised yourself it wouldn't. Or he'll apologize in a way that sounds sincere, but never specific. "Sorry, it's been a week." And you nod at your phone like you're in a conversation with him, like, "Okay, I get it." That's how the waiting turns into loyalty. You stop asking direct questions because you don't want to ruin the good parts. You start choosing your words like one wrong sentence could make him pull away. You type something honest, then you erase it. You replace it with something lighter, something easier to answer. Because in your head, there's still this version of him you're protecting. The version who held your face. The version who sounded sure. The version who made you feel chosen for a minute. So when he acts like a stranger the next day, you don't call it what it is. You call it a phase. You call it stress. You call it timing. And you start bargaining with yourself. If I don't bring it up, we can get back to that night. If I stay calm, he'll feel safe again. If I'm low pressure, he'll come closer. It's not that you're naive. It's that you're trying to make the good moment mean something. Because if it didn't mean anything, then you were alone in it. And that's a hard thing to admit when you still remember how real it felt. So you keep waiting for the story to catch up to reality. And this is where it gets dangerous, because he's not gone. He's just not here in a way you can hold. You keep thinking the distance is the problem. Like if you say the right thing, you'll get the close version of him back, and it'll stay. But the truth is, the close version of him was never the full story. It was him in a moment. He's good in moments. He knows how to lean in when it feels good, when it's late, when he's lonely, when you're right there, soft and open, making it easy to be the guy he wants to be for a few hours. He can be sweet. He can be present. He can sound real. But when that warmth starts asking for something simple the next day, he slips. Not because you asked for too much. Because now he has to show up when it's normal. It's the difference between "I miss you" at night and "What are we doing" in the daylight. He likes the first one. The second one makes him go quiet. You've seen it. You suggest a plan. He doesn't say no. He just doesn't lock it in. He says, "Yeah, we should," but nothing gets set. Then the day comes, and you're sitting there with your phone, telling yourself you're not going to ask again, even though you want to. And he might still text you that night like nothing happened. That's the part that messes with you. He acts like closeness and consistency are the same thing. Like a good conversation erases a week of distance. And you start feeling crazy for wanting the basic follow-through. But look at what's actually happening. He shows up when it benefits him emotionally. He fades when it costs him effort. He'll reach for you when he wants comfort, attention, that feeling of being wanted. And the second it starts to feel like responsibility, he starts going through something. He starts being busy. He starts not wanting to rush things. And maybe he believes his own words when he says them. In that moment, he probably does. But a man meaning it for an hour is not the same as a man building a life that matches it. So you keep reading his warmth like it's a commitment. And he keeps treating his warmth like it's just a mood. And that's the pattern you couldn't see yet. Not that he doesn't care at all, just that his caring doesn't turn into consistency. And that difference is exactly why you keep getting hurt. And after a while, it's not even him that hurts the most. It's what you start doing to yourself just to keep the peace. You start waking up and checking your phone before you even fully open your eyes. Not because you're desperate, because you're tired of being surprised. You'd rather see the disappointment early than walk into it later. You tell yourself you're just going with the flow. But really, you're adjusting your whole day around a man who won't give you a straight answer. You catch yourself rewriting a simple text 3 times. The first version is honest. "Hey, did we still have a plan this weekend?" Then you erase it. It sounds too direct, too much pressure. So you try again. Hope your week's going okay. And you stare at the screen, hating that you're doing this. Hating that you're trying to sound like you don't care when you actually do. You stop bringing things up when they bother you, not because they don't matter, but because you've learned what happens when you do. He gets weird. He gets quiet. He acts like you're asking for a fight when you're really asking for clarity. So you start swallowing your needs before they even come out. And then you start watching yourself. You notice you're less relaxed, less playful. You're always slightly on guard, like you're waiting for the shift. You're sitting with friends, laughing, and then you feel your pocket vibrate and your stomach drops before you even look. Because you don't know which version of him is on the other side. That kind of uncertainty changes you. It makes you overthink your tone. It makes you question if you asked for too much. It makes you second-guess things you normally wouldn't even think twice about. And you don't call it losing yourself in the moment. It just feels like being careful. Careful not to scare him off. Careful not to seem needy. Careful not to say the wrong thing and lose the only good parts you're still getting. But the cost shows up in quiet ways. You start accepting the bare minimum from him in a way you wouldn't accept from anyone else. A late-night check-in becomes a highlight. A vague "we'll see" becomes something you plan your weekend around. And then one day you realize you're not even asking, "Do I like this man?" You're asking, "How do I stay close enough to him that he doesn't disappear?" That's when you know you've been shrinking. And this is the part that gets quiet. Not dramatic, not angry, just clear. It hits you in some normal moment. You're standing in your kitchen. You're putting your keys down. You glance at your phone and you realize you've been waiting for a feeling. Not a plan, not a relationship. A feeling. That quick rush when his name pops up, the relief when he's warm again, the way you finally unclench for a second, and you see it for what it is. He already showed you what he does when things get real. He goes soft at night and distant in the day. He pulls you close, then leaves you holding it alone. And you can care about him and still tell the truth. You can admit there were good parts of him. You can admit you felt something, and still stop pretending that a few good moments are enough to build on. Because your life can't be built on surprise. You don't need to punish him. You don't need to prove anything. You just stop making space for a pattern that keeps taking from you. So the next time he comes back with that casual, "Hey," like nothing happened, you feel the old part of you want to melt, but you don't. You let the message sit there while you take a breath. You notice the way your mind tries to run ahead. You notice the part of you that wants to earn the good version again. And you choose something different. You choose the version of you that doesn't have to play it cool to be treated right. The version of you that doesn't have to guess. The version of you that can sleep without checking the phone one last time. Because the truth is simple. If he wanted to be in your life in a steady way, you wouldn't have to keep translating him. You wouldn't have to keep shrinking. You wouldn't have to keep waiting for the man from that one night to come back. And the moment you stop chasing that version of him, you start feeling yourself return. Not because he finally changed, because you finally stopped disappearing around him.